So, I've been using the NuPhy Air75 low-profile wireless mechanical keyboard for a while now, and I'd say even though it's not the best sounding and best feeling keyboard that I've used, it's definitely one of the most convenient and comfortable ones. Convenient enough that I choose to use it daily amongst all the mechanical keyboards that I have here in the studio. Now that the NuPhy Air60 has arrived, let's find out how it differs compared to the Air75. But before we start, a word from our sponsor. This part of the video is sponsored by CableMod. Did you know that CableMod now offers custom cables for mechanical keyboards and that you can easily design yours using their nifty configurator tool? The cables come in a very nice carrying case with some cable management ties and an overall premium package. The cables are made out of high quality materials and match exactly how you created them on their website. Check the link below to learn more. With that being said, let's get into it. Now, if you're wondering why the Air60 exists, especially the fact that it's almost identical to the Air75 in terms of the overall features, the truth is it's actually based more on the NuType F1 60% keyboard, which is an older model from NuPhy and is specifically made for MacBook and laptop users. So NuPhy took some inspiration from the NuType F1 while also bringing the awesome features that we love from the NuPhy Air75. The best of both worlds, definitely. So yeah, the Air75 and Air60 look similar to each other, but it was more than that. With that out of the way, let's do a quick unboxing experience. So right here we have the packaging for the NuFolio V2, which is a carrying case for the Air60 and can also be used as a stand for tablets and smartphones. The quality is very good, made out of leather on the outside and soft material inside. As of the time of this video, it is free when you pre-order the NuPhy Air60. We also have here the Coast PBT keycaps, which are essentially the same as the stock keycaps, just different colorways, specifically with the alphas. Now let's finally unbox the NuPhy Air60. The packaging is pretty much the same as the NuPhy Air75, with an initial sleeve and a premium looking main packaging. Inside it we have the paperwork, the NuPhy Air60 keyboard itself, and the rest of the package contents here on the right compartment. So we have a set of NuPhy stickers and the user manual right here with all the necessary details that we need. You can take a screenshot if you want so that you can have a bit of an idea about the main functionality of the NuPhy Air60. And then of course, when you flip it, we have the iconic NuPhy anime poster. Aside from that, we have a braided cable with the right angle USB Type-C plug. I'll explain it later. And we also have a switch and keycap puller combo right here, a shorter USB Type-C to Type-C cable, some replacement rubber feet, 3 sample low-profile Gateron switches, the 2.4 GHz USB dongle, a few additional Windows OS keycaps, and a couple of magnetic rubber height adjustment stand. Now at first look and touch, there's no denying that the NuPhy Air60 looks almost the same as the Air75 with just a few differences, especially with the form factor and layout. The NuPhy Air60 weighs roughly around 456 grams, while the NuPhy Air75 weighs around 571 grams. The first difference is with the layout. The Air60 has a shorter shift key on both sides, and there are actually 3 different iterations of this layout, and they ultimately went with this. I'll put a link to a post on NuPhy's website explaining all the design considerations for the Air60 if you're interested. Aside from that, the bezels have the same thickness all around, unlike the Air75 which has a thicker top bezel. Flipping it on the front side, we'll see the thinnest part of the Air60, which is just around 17mm. And flipping it on the left side, the thickest part is around 22mm. And we also have the USB Type-C port here, and the reason for that is because like the NuType F1, this was designed to be put on top of a MacBook or a laptop, and so that you can connect it via wired using the included short cable. Looking at the back side, we have the connection switch and the switch between Windows and Mac OS. Turning it all over at the bottom, we have the chrome design accent here that covers the battery underneath. It has a thin plastic protection, so don't panic if you see some scratches when you first take it out of the box. We also have 4 relatively thin rubber feet, and you can also attach the included magnetic rubber stands if necessary. In my eyes, they look the same as the one on the Air75. And as you can tell, both the keyboards feature a translucent plastic bottom casing, which apparently was made to make the wireless connectivity more stable. Aside from that, on the left side, they look the same, except for the placement of the USB Type-C port, and on the back side, they also differ in terms of the placement of the switches. Going back in front, like I said earlier, the bezels of the Air60 have the same thickness, while the Air75 has a wider forehead. Both have the same LED indicator on each side. Now, as I've pointed out earlier, the NuPhy Air60 takes some inspiration from the NuType F1 in the sense that it was made to be placed on top of a MacBook or any thin and light laptop. I have here the Realme Book laptop, which shares a similar design and form factor with the MacBook Air, And as you can see, I can connect the NuPhy Air60 to it using the included short USB Type-C cable, and thanks to the slim rubber fit, it doesn't interfere with the keyboard underneath. This should allow you to get a better overall typing experience if you prefer this kind of use case scenario. Otherwise, you can just simply use it wirelessly away from the laptop. Aside from that, it shares almost exactly the same features and functionality as the Air75. We also have a good quality Coast PBT keycaps with never fading dye-sublimated characters and a decent thickness of around 1.5 to 1.6 millimeters. We still have the hot swappable PCB compatible with low-profile switches like this low-profile Gateron Brown. The NuPhy Air60 is available in low-profile Gateron Red, Blue, and Brown. They are linear, clicky, and tactile respectively. And since these switches feature a standard Cherry MX cross stem, you can use any keycap profile that you want. I also want to point out that I appreciate the design of the top plate, giving both the NuPhy Air60 and Air75 a clean high-profile look, hiding the switches while maintaining a relatively thin profile overall. Aside from that, the stabilizers are also pre-lubed out of the box, and it is actually quite substantial. Now, here's a sound test for you guys. The RGB illumination doesn't really matter here since the keycaps are not shine-through. Now, in terms of performance, both the NuPhy Air75 and Air60 are quite reliable, and I didn't encounter any issues at all. For gaming and productivity tasks, the 2.4 GHz connectivity will provide you with better input latency, while the Bluetooth connectivity will provide you with multiple devices connection and that you can quickly switch between them. It has a 2500 mAh of battery, and depending on your lighting configuration and use case scenarios, should provide you with up to 48 hours of battery life. And if you're like me, who play games from time to time using a wired connection, you wouldn't have to worry about the battery life. And lastly, as of the time of making this review, the NuPhy Air60 doesn't seem to be compatible with the beta version of the NuPhy console, which works properly with the Air75. I'm pretty sure NuPhy will have this sorted out soon. So to conclude, since my experience with both keyboards is quite excellent, my recommendation is fairly simple. If you're looking for the best portable wireless low-profile mechanical keyboard and the function row is not that important to you, and if you're looking to get a keyboard that you can place on top of your laptop, the NuPhy Air60 is probably your best option. Otherwise, just get the NuPhy Air75, which is still quite lightweight and portable and is easier to use and transition to with a better overall layout. And there you have it guys, thank you for watching. Huge thanks to NuPhy for sending this in and to Cable Mod for sponsoring a part of this video. You can get the NuPhy Air60 and some Cable Mod cables using the links below. Thank you for watching, subscribe if you like this, and see you next time. Have a great day guys, you're awesome.